Welcome to another episode of The Art of Volunteering. I'm your host, Stormy Bell. Today, my guest is a friend of mine. Her name is Hanna McCarthy, and I am so excited that she's able to join us on the podcast. Welcome, Hanna.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Hanna is passionate about volunteering, both professionally and personally, and is proud to serve as a volunteer firefighter in her community. Her career in financial services allow her to help families achieve their financial goals and improve their lives, a mission that aligns with her deep commitment to service. In addition to her work in finance, Hanna has a background in design thinking and has applied it to create positive change in various industries. She enjoys connecting with clients, listening to their unique stories, and supporting their growth in both finance and business. Hanna's dedication to helping others, whether it's through her career or as a firefighter, drives her to make a lasting impact wherever she goes. So there's so much to talk about in there, but let's dive into a female firefighter.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, what is that like?
Oh, my goodness. It is all the things, Stormy. I feel like being a female firefighter is one of my favorite parts of who I am. And it has just given me a sense of confidence and community. And I'm one of very few. So that's the other piece of it. I started volunteering about almost 6 years ago and haven't looked back since. It's something that I've kept up in my life, and I just see how it's changed me and challenged me.
How did you what all of a sudden said, yes, I want to be a firefighter? What did that look like?
Okay, so yeah, if you know me, most of my decisions happen real fast, and then I think like I don't remember life before this decision. So my husband and I moved to Westchester, where I live, in 2019, and we didn't know anybody up here. We moved up here for my job at the time, and we lived in an apartment complex that was fairly close to First Westchester, where I volunteer. And one day I was driving just past it, and there was this neon sign with kind of barely broken letters that flashed this thing that just said volunteers needed. And I like stood at that stop sign and was like, you know what? I bet I could do that. And went on their website. I think their website was built in the 1940s and has not been updated since, which is part of the charm, I think, of the volunteer fire organization. And sent them an email. I was like, hey, I would like to volunteer. And within an hour, they had sent me a reply and all these different forms to fill out. And then I went back home and told my husband, I was like, oh, I'm going to start volunteering. He's like, oh, that's great. Where are you going to volunteer? I was like, oh, just the fire department. He's like, okay. In what capacity? I was like, as a firefighter. So I think part of it was I've always been very active. And I used to work for a company called Outward Bound Leadership School and had done a lot of like wilderness training and just really hard challenges. And what I missed was, especially being up in a new place, being new to a community, was finding a sense of belonging and wanting to be around people doing hard things. And when I saw that volunteers needed, I was like, well, why not me? Why can't I do that? And it's been, like I said, it's been a journey ever since. But that was my original. Let's sign this up. This is why I'm thinking it.
Awesome. What does training look like for to be a firefighter, just in general, for anyone?
So I kind of took my time with training. The nice thing about, I think, the volunteer organization is they're really trying to meet you where you're at in a professional manner. So if you're a full-time student or you're working full-time, they're trying to like figure out how they can get training into your schedule, but not let it take over your life. And I think that's one of the things that really attracted me to volunteer firefighting, was that I can kind of fit into my schedule, which sounds crazy. It's a very intense thing. So you go through what's called Fire One, and that is a certification process that goes anywhere from like you learn hazardous materials, you learn intro to firefighting, you learn the leadership structure and how it's organized, but then you also go through a lot of burn drills. Um, and I took my Fire One certification at Montgomery Fire School, which is located in Montgomery County, close to Conshohocken. And you're a part of individuals who are there for various reasons, whether they're looking to volunteer in their community or they're looking at as a step to volunteer and then go professionally into the firefighting field. So what's nice is that you are around and surrounded by so many individuals with various goals in the fire department, and you learn so much from the people that you're around. And it's not necessarily the easiest physical thing on the planet. There's I joke because everything at the fire department is very heavy. If you want to pick something up, it's at least like 30 pounds. And what I found is that it's a really good way to keep your body in check, make sure you're strength training throughout the week, make sure that you are capable, feeling good physically, getting sleep. So it is very involved emotionally, physically, all the things. But the volunteer side of it with our department is you can go as far as you want. You can continue your education as far as you want to take it. And that was something that really attracted me because it's a way to grow in an area in a volunteer capacity and still get training. You're never really done learning, which I really enjoy too. So training, you get your Fire One certification, and maybe that's where you stop and you continue to train with your fire group. With First Westchester, we have drill every Wednesday, and that is an opportunity for us to go through various either scenarios or updated training or learning new things in the fire department, just coming together and making sure we're all on the same page as a team. And then we volunteer throughout the rest of the week when we can.
Amazing. How many people are on your team?
So I believe we have between 30 and 40 active firefighters. You can be a member of the fire department, and we have a ton of those, and those individuals will help with fundraising, with getting the word out, trying to raise money, different various pieces of that as well. So I don't know that number because it's pretty large. But as far as the active side of people who run in the engines, there's between anywhere from 30 to 40, depending on the year.
That's a good size.
It's a good size.
Yeah. What is your most challenging aspect of being a firefighter?
That's a good question. I think yes, it's physically hard. Yes, it can be draining. Yes, you might have a call at 2 a.m. All of those pieces. But I think what's the hardest part is going through something and seeing things that may or may not be easy to see. Like you're meeting people at their worst day. You're being able to offer protection, but then also trying to bring fires down, trying to bring situations to a level of containment. And I think after a call, you kind of have to learn to talk with your fellow firefighters and lean on them for strength, and then also be able to debrief in a healthy way all of the pieces that have come up. Because you might react, like if you're at a car accident or you're at a fire, you're seeing a lot of things that aren't fun and that are really hard to take on. So it's taken me a while to learn not to keep those things in after I've been through it, but to be able to find the resources and be able to connect with the people around me in that moment. And then afterwards, if something is bothering me or something's on my mind, being able to reach out to my lieutenant or to my captain or whomever to just ask for support. And I think that asking has been hard, but it's been really good over time.
It's hard to ask in the best of situations.
Yes. Asking for help. Yes, I feel like I relearned that lesson all the time.
So let's go to the other side of that. What's the most favorite, exciting? What brings you joy? Like what's that look like?
That's another good question. I think part of being a firefighter, it's a very deeply rewarding experience. And you get to understand and learn skills, again, that help people on their worst days. So you can be that person to offer hope. So on that side of it, that feels really good. Like I am good in an emergency setting. I can bring some calmness that feels important to me. And on the other side of it, it's being able to work in a team environment, in like a physically hard team environment, just develops relationships differently, I think. So just the people that I get to be around, I respect deeply and have a bond to them. Like last night we had a call at 1 a.m. and we're all kind of barely awake and a little slap happy as far as like no one's understanding what we're saying, but we're able to get through the call and then be able to talk about it later. So you end up developing these relationships based on fun things sometimes. Um, and then the other piece of it that I just deeply enjoy is you meet people from all walks of life. So you see individuals who are in college and they want to learn how to volunteer and they start learning how to fight fires. But then you also have individuals who have been through a lot and maybe you're on the other side and they're drivers. And so you just get this huge collective community and of thought and diversity. And that's really, really, really rewarding.
Oh, I love it. All right. In preparing for our conversation, I asked you to think about like what are your core volunteering values and what that looks like. Your first one that you put down was commitment to community. You've shared a little bit about that, but can you explain, go into that a little bit more?
Yeah, I think commitment to community, yes, it's being an advocate for those people, my neighbors, the people that are around me. In order to be a firefighter and be effective in the area I live in, my community that I'm serving, which is a really unique piece of this type of volunteer organization. And with that, I'm drawn to learn, okay, what are the roads? What are the streets? What are the histories? How do people park their cars? So we can understand how to drive an engine through. What are the hazards? Where can I go if I need something? And so you really start to understand how is the community formed? What should I be looking at when I'm in various places of Westchester? And how do I understand it in a very deep manner? So that's kind of cool to me. Like I get to know and get to see parts of Westchester that I might not have ever been able to see before. And then the other part is just a strong sense of um, pride and connection to Westchester. I want to be able to protect it if something goes wrong and help build it if something does.
Okay. Selflessness and teamwork.
Yes, I think kind of what was said before about finding people and being with people that are different than you will push yourself to be not just selfless, but be able to um, understand how to do things differently. So when you're in these high pressure situations, a lot of it is relying on the people that are leading you and prioritizing the needs of others above your own. So I think when you have a group of people that all have that same mindset, it really helps you move forward with whether that's going through a call or through changes in your life. You know that you have individuals behind you that care about you and that support you. Um, I think it also, because you've gone through hard things, you've seen each other in your worst and seen each other in your best. And I think there's some vulnerability and a sense of belonging there that happens because of that. So I think it's a really good place to be.
Okay. The last one you've touched on a little bit, and you have personal growth and skill development.
Yeah, I think the kind of the aspect of firefighting is asking you all the time to step outside of your comfort zone and doing things like, all right, you can shoulder this hose. Why don't you shoulder both hoses on both your shoulder? Like just you're like, oh, I didn't think about that. But you're learning little things. You're asking for help. All those things that we mentioned before. But I think that helps you understand in life that there's always something to learn, and there's always a different way of doing it. Um, And I think partly what I really enjoy is being able to take what I've learned at the fire department and and translate that into everyday life or work life. It sometimes helps know that I think one of the famous things that people say sometimes when things are going bad is like, oh, it's on fire. But then actually when you are used to actual things being on fire, when things are stressful outside of that, it's like, this isn't so bad. How can we like move forward in this high stress situation and know what needs to be done to smooth it out? So I think in a funny way, um, it's helped me navigate complexity and issues on the outside of my life in a good way and keep calm under that. So I know it's probably an odd way to translate it, but I feel like that skill translation is definitely there.
Okay. Looking at all your volunteer experience with the firefighters, can you share a story of impact? Something where you saw like your direct involvement as a volunteer and a person's life impacted or changed or made better.
Yes. Apart from going to fires, I think those are always they're good and bad. They're good in a way that we're able to protect property and help lives. But I think some of the best moments that I've had was going into schools and being able to help children understand, hey, what is safety? How can you learn safety skills with your fellow classmates? How can you understand how to behave and where to go in an emergency? And so some of my favorite memories with the fire department are fire prevention in a lot of preschools. Because then what we do is we'll put on all of our pieces of gear and help them. Like we'll ask the kids, all right, what piece goes on next? Is it my jacket? Is it my helmet? And help them like help me put on all my gear. And then when everything is on, like I have my mask, I have my air suit, like everything, they're kind of like, whoa, this person's transformed into this kind of scary image. But then you're trying to showcase, okay, this isn't scary. This is what a firefighter looks like and sounds like. And then you give the kids high fives. Some kids just start crying immediately after saying that, but it's some of my favorite memories because it just like you get to see kids light up when you talk about fire engines, and that kind of spurs people to really enjoy that community aspect, that fire department aspect. So I don't think it's necessarily one story, but I think every year it's something that I look forward to and something that's very exciting about being a part of the fire department.
Yeah, I remember when my sons were preschool, that age and things. I had a field trip to a fire department. A friend of mine was like her dad was the chief, so we got a
Oh,
personal
wonderful.
tour of the station and the truck and just all the things and how they responded to it, and just had this really positive experience with that. So yeah, I totally appreciate that.
It's a good time.
All right. When you're not putting out fires, you serve on the board at a maternal child health consortium here in Chester County. Melina Lenz is their executive director, and she's actually been a guest on the podcast. So, for those of you listening, we're going to put her episode in the show notes if you want to go back and refresh. So, I'm going to ask you how you serve in this impactful mission. But before you do, can you give like a 30-second refresher on what MCHC is and their mission?
Yeah. So Maternal Health and Child Consortium, they're a nonprofit organization that's truly committed to ensuring that children and families have what they need when it comes to building their foundation for lifelong health and well-being. So anywhere from prenatal home visiting support to early childhood development education, MCHC works with families to address their needs and critical aspects of their health and their development. So they work predominantly in Chester County and are always growing and learning and evolving in how we support families with children.
That's awesome. So, how do you serve as a board member?
I am on the board as the governance chair, and I help to onboard members into the board as well as ensure that our bylaws are correct for the board, I really enjoy it. Anything that comes through, then from a board perspective, we'll sit and try to sort what changes need to happen, or do we need to pivot. We'll talk through our fundraising efforts. We'll talk through what's happening in the next year. But I specifically sit as the governance chair.
That's awesome. So, between firefighting and be the governance chair, why do you volunteer? 60 seconds, just real quick. Like, why do you volunteer?
I volunteer because there's something, I feel like there's always time in life to do something. And what I love about being able to volunteer is that it enhances my life in a way that work might not be able to do so, or um, other hobbies might not be able to fill that bucket. But I think it helps me have a deeper understanding of different cultures and perspectives that are around me. And it really grows my empathy and compassion arm. And I think in today's diverse world, there is such a need for both of those things. And that's what I really appreciate being able to volunteer. Is it pushes me um, outside of my comfort zone and allows me to give back to my community in a very strong and real way.
Oh, I absolutely love that. Did you had mentioned earlier that like that sense of belonging?
Mm.
You've been here, what, 6 years in the region?
Yes,
Have you discovered that sense of belonging?
I think so. What's nice about the fire department is that you have a sense of belonging there, but then other people in the community are like, oh my gosh, that's really cool that you're over there. My dad was there, or my brother was there, and then you have this instant connection. It's also just a really fun way to be involved with the community when you are able to say like, hey, I work and serve you. Then people are like, oh man, that's awesome. And um, it's a really good way to, if you're new to a community or you're in your community and been there forever, it's a good way to dive in and find belonging, because essentially um, it gives you that experience that you might not have had had you not signed up.
Awesome. All right. Now this is it's my favorite question. No one's really
I'm there
argued
for
with me on that. So here we go. Can you share a blooper? A blooper is not something that went wrong per se.
it.
It just didn't go as planned. And what did you learn from it?
Mm. I Yes, I have a few in my head that I'm like, oh man. So we had a fire. No one was injured, no one was hurt, but we just had to break some of the windows, and that feels really like you feel such like I'm so good at this. I mean, I was there breaking windows, it felt so powerful, and I started walking over back to like where everyone was taking off their packs and just relaxing before the next crew went in, and I didn't see this like small little piece of cement, hit it, and just fell smack, like almost like face planted. I was not injured, but it was one of those moments where you felt like, yes, I have like conquered the world, and then just like face planted right after. And I was like, wow, I was like, did anyone see that? And everyone was like, we all saw that, Hannah. I was like, oh no. But it was just one of those moments that you're like, oh, I can never undo this.
Well, what did you learn from it?
Learning, like you still have to be on. Like you can't go from such a high and then like such a low after that. But like you want to make sure that you are being safe and maintaining your sanity throughout all of it. But then also just there's time to laugh in stressful situations, and that was just one of them. You can't take life that serious all the time, so it was good. It was hilarious. I still have it running in my head from time to time. When I feel sad, I think about that.
Oh, very good. All right. We are coming to the end of our conversation. So I'm going to give you the mic, so to say. I want you to love, like capital letters, love on your fire company, on MCHC. Just love. The mic is yours.
Oh, I think with the fire department, I've said this already, but some of the best people that I have come to know and love are part of that company. And from lieutenants to captains to people who are training and learning alongside me, they're just good people. And being able to do something hard with them has just been life giving. With MCHC, it's such a really cool organization, and to be able to see the impact that they're making all throughout Chester County, whether it's um, even just bringing light to what's happening, light to the needs, and being able to serve and have that opportunity to allow individuals to have healthy and stay healthy in their schools and in their homes. Just that impact is it's so great, and it's just been um, such a pleasure to be a part of both of these communities in life. So I'm very, very grateful and couldn't think of life without them.
Oh, I love it. All right. Well, Hannah, thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you for having me.
I've enjoyed our conversation, and I know my listeners have enjoyed it as well. So, to my listeners, if you would rate and review this episode wherever you're listening, it truly does help other people learn about the impactful work volunteers are doing every day to help transform the fabric of our society. So, to all of you, I look forward to seeing you next time on The Art of Volunteering. Have a great day.